Hi, this is a video explaining how to compile MicroPython programs, and I'll also show an easy way to transfer files on the Pico and put the final piece in place for being able to protect your Wi-Fi details. I'd very much appreciate your comments about whether you find this useful and also how I could have done things better. So why would you actually want to compile your MicroPython programs? Well, the ideas that I can think of, it hides your source code from prying eyes, and also I believe that it makes things run faster, but I haven't verified that. So I'm going to be using MPY cross, but I couldn't find out much about it, or not much that I could understand anyway. And there seems to be lots of unanswered questions out there. Therefore, I thought I'd have to work it out for myself. So what I did was I will open PowerShell, and first of all, you want to install it on your system. And I'm using Python 3 point something, so I'm using pip3 install MPY cross, like that. And it says, because I've already installed it, it says requirement already satisfied, but it seemed to not mind that, even if I am using a very old version of pip. So then I want to navigate to where I have my programs that I'm interested in. So I'll go cd data right, that should be the right place. If I do a directory, that will think, yeah, I've got 5 programs there, and I'm going to be compiling 3 of them: decode, hello, and secrets. So first of all, now I've got my files, you can run MPY cross from the command line or from within Python. I'm going to use it from within Python, but I'll just demonstrate that you can do it from the command line. So if you go Python 3 -m, I cannot remember what the -m actually does, but if you don't put it in, it won't work. And then we'll just see what the version is, like that. As an, whoops, you need to spell version right. Version. Right, well, that obviously works from running from the command line. It says that I'm running, I'm generating MPY files for version 6.1. Right, so in order to go into it, we'll go into Python 3, and then I will import MPY cross. Now, as I know, or I knew nothing about it, my favourite ways of finding out what something does is to go dir of whatever I'm looking at. That doesn't actually tell me much, so we'll go help. I always go dir and help on things if I want to find out what they are. So, that's better. It tells you the name and the package contents, which isn't a lot, and you've got one function, which is run. So obviously we want to use run. So I will try seeing if I can get the version again from here. so I know what it ought to produce. If you go mpy cross.run, then all arguments I think have to be in quotes. We'll see what that does. Yep, that tells you the right thing. Now what I want to be doing is I want to be compiling one of my programs, so we'll try that. So instead of putting in the version, we'll put in the file name, and my first program is hello.py. Now that return code, does that mean it's worked? Doesn't it mean it's worked? So if I go into File Manager, and this is pointing to the same folder that I'm in, and there we have hello.mpy, which is pretty helpful really. So we'll go into Thonny here, and we'll go File, Open, and we'll see if we can open that file. So I'm just pointing to Python files. I need to change that to all files, and there it shows up. So fine, we'll try opening that, and it says it can't open it, and I'm thinking, ugh, cripes. So what is the problem with that? So could it be a version program? So I've got this nice little program that's called version, and if you run that, it will tell you all sorts of things, but mainly the version. So if we run that, and it goes MPY version 6, MPY, that looks exactly the same, you know, how it ought to be. So that's okay. So then I thought to myself, you can't actually run MPY files. You can only import them. So that's probably the problem. But how do you import them? So I found something here. Normally when I want to transfer a file to the Pico, I open it from my PC, and then I save as to the Pico. But if you can't open an MPY file, then that isn't good, so you need to find another way. So if you go into View and Files, there's this wonderful file manager thing. So if I get to where I want to be, it was in my Pico W, right, Pico W, yeah, and then MPY progs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Is that right? Yes, so there's one hello MPY file. So what you can do is you highlight it and you click on there, and you've got all these things. Upload to, oh no, I don't want to upload to the general one. I want to upload to the lib, because all your MPY files and all your libraries need to be in the lib. So we'll click out of that. We'll double click on lib, and then we'll try it again. And then it says upload to lib. That ought to work. So I'll click that, and there it is, hello.mpy. So we'll close the files, and oh, right. So just to, I think it's easier actually to run it in the shell. So if we just go import hello, what would that do? It says hello world, and if you look at the original code, it says hello world, so that works marvelously. Now, to try and find out more about this program, as people would, you know, they think, oh, there's an MPY file, I will have a look at that. if I go dir hello, doesn't tell you, it doesn't have anything interesting because it's a boring program. But then if you go help, hello, right, name, no, it still doesn't tell you anything, which is quite good, really. So that means that you can't find out anything about it, that particular program, from doing that. But if we go into the actual program and we open it in Notepad, eventually. Now, that is just opening. If Notepad can read it, anything can read it. And there you go, it says hello world. So your secret's been blown. So that's the first thing to say. Any strings that you have in your MPY file will be seen. So we'll try another one. We'll go back to do we need to do anything else? No, we'll go back to PowerShell and we'll try running secrets, MPY cross with secrets.py. It seems to have worked. We'll go back on there and there you go, secrets.mpy. We'll go back to Thonny, and if we have a look to see what's in secrets, this is the uncompiled one, which is why you can see it. It just says SSID, my router, and password equals my password. Right, so we'll go through the process of moving it over the MPY file again, and we'll open that. And as you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Whenever you go in to files, you need to refresh. And there we go, secrets.mpy. So that's open in lib already. So what you do is you click on MPY and then click on that and secrets.mpy. That's great. And incidentally, this file manager is much better if you want to move your programs around from your PC to your Pico, or you want to move things from one Pico to another. Then this is the best way of doing it. You just transfer them over to your PC from your Pico in one lot, and then you can transfer them back. Anyway, that's another thing. Right, so we'll go down to the shell again and we'll go import secrets. Now it hasn't done anything, but then if we go dir secrets, it gives you more this time because it gives you class name dict file as before. And then it gives you password and SSID, which you think, they might be variables. So all you have to do to print them is you go secrets dot password, and it gives you the password. And then if you go secrets dot SSID, it gives you the router. Now that proves that not only do you have to avoid having strings in your Pi program before you compile it, but you have to avoid variables. So we'll see what help does as well. Help and secrets. Now that's even worse. If you go help and secrets, it will tell you that the variable SSID is my router and the variable password is my password. So they're the two things that you really need to avoid. So we'll go back and we'll have a third try. This time we will do decode.py. Once again, it looks like it's worked. Is it there? Yep, decode.mpy. We'll go back to Thonny. We'll go back to File Manager, and it isn't there because we have to refresh it. Right, there you go, decode.mpy. Make sure we're pointing to the lib, which we are, so you click on that, upload to lib, and there it is. We'll close File Manager. Now before we run this, because this program, I've shown it in my lesson 28 solution, but it actually has got an encoded form of your SSID and your password, and it logs into your Wi-Fi network, connects to your Wi-Fi network. But first we have to unplug, so I'm unplugging my Pico and plug it in again. Stop. Right, down here we'll go import decode. Great, that seems to have worked. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. And now we'll go dir decode, and if you look, it's got the class name dict file, and then there are my methods, but you can't, you know you've got the methods, but it's difficult to know what to pass to them. And then I've got one variable that's of use, but there again, the whole point of this program is to give you that. So you can't do, you can't hide that, because that's what it ought to be on your Pico, because you can't hide it from anyone else. So there it is, that's the IP address of my Pico. And then we'll go help of decode, and what does that tell you? That tells you the IP address and absolutely nothing else. So this is a good way of having done it. Now if we actually look at the code, this is the py file, not the mpy file. If you notice, I've got my method there, I've got my method there, and then I've just got two things to do with the network that no one would find useful at all. And then I've just got my IP, that's my only variable in there, which is why no prying eyes can see anything else. Because if I wanted to make this program easier to look at, I would use all this. I've explained this ad nauseum in my homework for lesson 28 about how my decode and encode programs work, and by doing it all in one line like that, it means that no one can find out any details, because that first array is my encoded SSID, and that is my encoded password. So that's good, no one can find out anything. So we'll then, the last test, I will open the MPY file with Notepad. Well, if anyone can get anything out of that, then good luck to them. Now, is there anything else that I forgot to say? All right, there's one other thing. No, there are two other things. If I look, no, I won't bother to show it. It shows that it was connected, so I don't need to demonstrate anything else. Then, if I go into Open, and I open up here, and look in the lib, there is a file called oldsecrets.mpy, which was actually created with the previous version of MPY Cross. So I'll show what happens if you try and do something like that. So if you go in here and, oh no, perhaps it's better to go into Shell, sorry. We're going to Shell and we go import old secrets. Now this is the MPY file and it tells you incompatible.mpy file, and that is because it was a previous version, which is fine. I mean, that's just to show you that if you get that error, then that's what's happening. Now we'll go back into Open and see what's here. Right, we have the hello.mpy file there, but if we go, we cancel that. If we go into hello.mpy, this is the py file. It's getting confusing here. Right, we change the py file to and guys. Now we'll save that on the Pico W. We'll save as Pico in the lib and hello.py. So now when you look at it again, just go to Open. You'll notice that there's a hello.mpy and a hello.py. So what happens if you go down to here and you go import hello. Shush. Go away. That all went wrong. Right, import hello. Now that shows that if you've got a library that is an MPY and a PY with the same name, it will always choose the PY before it goes to look for the MPY. So I don't know whether anyone will find this useful. I find it useful, but maybe it's a waste of time. So if anyone would like to leave comments as to saying why did you do this in the beginning, or you could have done this better, it would be greatly appreciated.